Welcome to Shocking History Photos, where the images may be old, but the impact is timeless. What if a single image could change everything? Stop a war, spark a revolution, rewrite the way we see the world? From the first photo ever taken, to images that exposed injustice, captured heartbreak, and made headlines around the globe, these 50 rare photos didn't just document history, they changed it forever. Number 50. It's Vietnam, 1963. A Buddhist monk named Thich Quang Duc has set himself on fire to protest the persecution of Buddhists. This powerful image shocked the world and forced the US to rethink its support for the South Vietnamese government. Number 49. In 1932, these 11 workers were sitting on a steel beam, 840 feet high, eating lunch with their legs dangling in the air. There are no ropes, no harnesses, in fact, no safety at all. This was taken during the construction of Rockefeller Center and became the most reproduced image of the Corby's photo agency. Number 48. After the 9/11 attacks, Richard Drew captured a haunting image. A man falls from the North Tower. His identity is unknown, but he's thought to have worked at the windows on the World restaurant. This powerful image is one of the few to show a person's death. It became a symbol of personal tragedy during mass destruction. Number 47. On August 14, 1945, in Times Square, a sailor grabbed a nurse and kissed her passionately. Alfred Eisenstadt was there, capturing the moment. His photo shows the joy and relief after World War II ended. This image became the most famous photo of the 20th century, seen by many as a symbol of relief and celebration, but others have pointed out it captured a non-consensual kiss, complicating its legacy today. Number 46. On July 22, 1975, photographer Stanley Foreman was covering a fire in Boston when he saw a woman and child on a fifth-floor fire escape. As a fireman rushed to help them, the fire escape suddenly gave way. Foreman captured the moment as they fell through the air. The woman died from the fall, but her goddaughter survived. The photo won a Pulitzer Prize and led to stronger fire escape laws. But it also raised questions: should such a disturbing image be shared? Number 45. In 1969, British war photographer Don McCullin took this photo during the Biafran War in Nigeria. It shows a starving 9-year-old albino boy, alone, thin, and rejected, even by other starving children. The image pushed governments to send aid and inspired the creation of Doctors Without Borders. McCullin hoped it would break through the comfort of people far away. And it did. Number 44. In 1943, Nazi troops entered the Warsaw Ghetto to deport the last remaining Jews. A terrified young boy, hands raised, stood in front of a soldier's gun. This photo was taken during the brutal crackdown that followed a failed uprising. The boy's name is unknown, but his image became a symbol of the 6 million Jews killed in the Holocaust. It later helped convict Nazi leaders at war crime trials. Number 43. This baby is sitting alone in the ruins of a bombed train station in Shanghai in the year 1937. His mother is dead nearby. War photographer H.S. Wong took the picture just after a Japanese airstrike. The image shows the true pain of war. It was seen by over 130 million people and made many around the world start to care about what was happening in China. Number 42. This photo is one of the most famous images of the Great Depression. It was actually taken in 1936 by Dorothea Lange. You can see a mother sitting in a small tent holding her children close. The worry in her face, the weight on her shoulders. This one image came to define an entire era of hardship and resilience. Number 41. This is one of the most iconic photos of the surrealist artist Salvador Dali. Taken in 1948 by Philippe Halsman, the image captures Dali mid-air, leaping with cats flying around him and water splashing. It's not a green screen or edited image. Everything was done in real time. In fact, it took 26 takes to get the perfect shot. The scene is a true reflection of Dali's surreal world, full of chaos and creativity. Number 40. This famous photo shows a 19-year-old East German border guard jumping over a barbed wire barricade to escape to West Berlin. The photo became a symbol of freedom, showing how desperately people wanted to escape. But you know what? Schumann, who never wanted to be a symbol, struggled with the fame and sadly committed suicide in 1998. Number 39. This image is one of the first ever X-rays taken by Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen of his wife Anna Bertha's hand. When he aimed the rays at Anna's hand, he saw the bones inside, revealing something never seen before. The photo shocked the world and earned Wilhelm the first ever Nobel Prize in physics. But Anna, who wasn't fond of the photo, said, "I have seen my death." For millions of others, it brought a new way to save lives. Number 38. On February 23, 1945, during the battle for Iwo Jima, 5 Marines and a Navy corpsman raised an American flag on Mount Suribachi. The photo captured by Joe Rosenthal has since become one of the most iconic images of World War II. The image was so famous that it earned Rosenthal a Pulitzer Prize. It was even turned into a postage stamp and later cast as a 100-ton bronze memorial. Number 37. In 1955, the 14-year-old was brutally kidnapped, beaten, and murdered by 2 white men in Mississippi. His body was thrown into a river so badly disfigured that it was unrecognizable. At his funeral, Emmett's mother, Mamie, insisted on an open casket to show the world the brutal reality of racism. This powerful photo of her staring at her son's mutilated body forced America to confront its deep-seated racial violence. Number 36. This powerful photo was taken in 1908. Lewis Hine, an investigative photographer, captured Sadie Pfeiffer, a small, 48-inch tall girl, operating a giant cotton spinning machine in Lancaster, South Carolina. Hine's photos brought the shocking reality of child labor into public view. His work sparked a movement, leading to laws that reduced child labor by nearly half in the next decade. Number 35. This chilling photo of Hitler at the 1934 Buckeberg Harvest Festival was part of a carefully crafted propaganda campaign. Hitler used mass gatherings like this to stage the illusion of strength and unity, masking the brutality of the Nazi regime. Number 34. This iconic photo of Gandhi, taken in 1946, shows him sitting by his charkha, the spinning wheel he used to promote Indian self-reliance. Spinning cloth became a powerful symbol in his fight for independence, encouraging people to stop buying British goods. This photo was later featured in a tribute to Gandhi after his assassination. It solidified his image as a peaceful leader and a saintly figure worldwide. Number 33. This is the first ever detailed image of a developing fetus. In 1965, Lennart Nilsson, while working with a hospital in Stockholm, captured this and other photos with special lighting and lenses. The photos, originally intended for medical purposes, quickly became iconic, sparking intense debate and being widely used, particularly by anti-abortion activists. However, Nilsson himself never publicly took a stance on abortion. Number 32. This photo was taken in the middle of the chaos. Photographer Robert Capa landed with US troops on Omaha Beach during D-Day in 1944. He ran through bullets and explosions with a camera in hand. In this photo, you can see Private Houston Riley in the surf. Struck several times, the 22-year-old soldier took about half an hour to reach the Normandy shore. These photos became some of the most powerful photos ever taken of battle. Number 31. This joyful photo wasn't planned, it just happened. Harry Benson was with the Beatles in Paris in 1944 when they got the news. "I Want to Hold Your Hand" was number 1 in America. That night, inside their hotel, the Fab Four exploded in a spontaneous pillow fight. Just weeks after JFK's assassination, this photo gave the world something it desperately needed: joy. And with it, the world met Beatlemania. Number 30. In 1990, this photo nearly stopped the world. Lying on the bed is David Kirby. He's only 32, but AIDS has already taken nearly everything. You can see his family around him, holding on in his final moments. Back then, AIDS was often ignored, but this photo made it impossible to look away, showing love, pain, and truth in a single frame. Number 29. In 1945, this photo became the Soviet symbol of victory. Photographer Yevgeny Kalday arrived in ruined Berlin with his camera and a giant red flag made from tablecloths. He led 3 soldiers to the top of the Reichstag and captured them, raising it over Hitler's defeated capital. Later, he darkened the sky and added smoke to dramatize the scene. This image told the world the Soviets had conquered Nazi Germany. Number 28. In 1982, Donna Ferrato took this photo inside a New Jersey bathroom. A man named Bengt was beating his wife Elizabeth while Ferrato, stunned but kept taking pictures. Most abuse like this stayed hidden, but Ferrato refused to look away. When no magazine would publish the photo, she released it herself in a powerful book. Her work helped expose domestic violence and helped push for the Violence Against Women Act in 1994. Number 27. In 1992, James Nachtwey went to Somalia on his own, desperate to show the world a famine no one was talking about. In this haunting photo, a starving woman lies motionless in a wheelbarrow, waiting to reach a feeding center. The image shook not only readers but the whole world. After it was published, support for aid surged. The Red Cross said Nachtwey's photos helped save over 1 million lives. Number 26. On May 25, 1965, Neil Leifer captured this defining moment. In Lewiston, Maine, Ali stood triumphantly over a knocked-out Liston. He taunted him, saying, "Get up and fight, sucker." This shot from the first round was more than just a photograph. It was a symbol of Ali's strength, brash confidence, and the moment that cemented him as one of the most polarizing figures in sports history. Number 25. On May 1, 2011, Pete Souza was inside the White House as history unfolded. US forces were raiding Osama bin Laden's compound in Pakistan, a mission that would end the life of the terrorist leader. President Obama, deep in thought, stared at the monitors. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, with her hand over her mouth, anxiously waited to see the outcome. That night, Obama addressed the nation, announcing bin Laden's death. Though no images of bin Laden's body were ever released, this photo became the defining visual of that moment in the war on terror. Number 24. Malik Sidibé, known as the Eye of Bamako, captured the vibrant changes in post-colonial Mali. On Christmas Eve in 1963, Sidibé found a young couple at a club, lost in each other's gaze. The dance floor was empty, but their quiet intimacy was something else. He said, "We were entering a new era, and people wanted to dance." Sidibé's photograph became a symbol of the newfound freedoms of a generation. Number 23. On February 1, 1968, in the midst of the Tet Offensive, photographer Eddie Adams captured a shocking moment on the streets of Saigon. Brigadier General Nguyen Ngoc Loan executed a Viet Cong officer with a calm shot to the head. The image, widely published, became an iconic moment in the Vietnam War, deeply influencing public opinion and contributing to growing anti-war sentiment in the US. Adams later won a Pulitzer Prize for this powerful photograph. Number 22. At the 1968 Mexico City Olympics, American sprinters Tommy Smith and John Carlos used their moment of victory to make a powerful political statement. As the national anthem played, Smith, the gold medalist, and Carlos, the bronze medalist, raised black-gloved fists in a silent protest against racial inequality in America. The image became a defining symbol of the civil rights movement and the turbulent 1960s. Number 21. On June 16, 1976, thousands of students in Soweto protested against the forced use of Afrikaans in their schools. As the protests turned violent, Sam Nzima witnessed the tragic moment when a 13-year-old boy was shot by police. Nzima captured the boy's lifeless body being carried by Mbuyisa Mahubu, with the boy's sister following behind. The image, showing the brutal reality of apartheid, forced the world to confront the violence of the South African regime. Number 20. In 1878, Edward Muybridge set out to answer a question. Does a horse ever become fully airborne when it trots or gallops? Muybridge set up 12 cameras along a track on Stanford's estate. As the horse ran by, it triggered each camera in rapid succession, capturing 12 images. The photos revealed that, for a brief moment, the horse's hooves were completely off the ground. This groundbreaking work not only answered Stanford's question, but also marked a turning point for photography and later paved the way for the motion picture industry. Number 19. This was taken in 2005 by Chris Hondros. 5-year-old Samar Hassan is screaming, covered in her parents' blood. Just moments earlier, US soldiers had opened fire on her family's car at a checkpoint in Iraq, fearing it carried a threat. Her mother and father were killed instantly. This photo forced the military to change its checkpoint rules and forced Americans to confront the human cost of war in Iraq. Number 18. In 2007, Brent Sturton captured this haunting scene in Congo's Virunga National Park. A dozen men carried the massive body of a 500-pound silverback mountain gorilla, shot dead in a wave of violence tied to the illegal charcoal trade. Sturton's photo reminded the world that war doesn't just destroy people, it devastates nature too. 3 months later, 9 African nations signed a treaty to protect the mountain gorillas. Number 17. In the 1880s, New York was packed with poor immigrants living in filthy, crowded slums. Most people didn't want to see it, but Jacob Riis, a Danish-born photographer, captured this powerful photo showing a gang standing in a dark alley called Bandit's Roost. Riis's images shocked the nation and pushed leaders like Theodore Roosevelt to fight for change. Number 16. In 1904, Native Americans were being pushed off their lands and stripped of their culture. Edward Curtis took this famous photo showing a group of Navajo riding into the distance. He called it the vanishing race. Curtis intended to honor them, but his photo also reinforced a harmful myth that Native Americans were vanishing rather than surviving ongoing displacement and oppression. Number 15. In 1960, perched above Los Angeles, the glass-walled Stahl House was part of a modernist experiment in architecture. To show its bold design, Schulman photographed two women inside, floating above the city in a sea of lights. The image turned a simple home into a vision of glamour, freedom, and the future. Number 14. In 1916, Paul Strand captured an unposed moment on the streets of New York. This blind woman, selling newspapers, wasn't aware she was being photographed. This candid image marked a shift in photography, laying the groundwork for street photography as a powerful tool for social awareness. Number 13. In 2003, U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Ivan Frederick captured this, one of the most haunting images of the Iraq War. This infamous photo, the hooded man, shows a prisoner hooded and posed with outstretched arms. This image exposed the dark side of the Iraq War and shattered the narrative of liberation. Number 12. On August 20, 1968, Soviet tanks entered Prague to stop the reform movement there. Photographer Joseph Koudelka captured these moments, including a powerful shot of a man's wristwatch marking the moment of invasion with an empty street in the background. Koudelka's photos revealed the harsh reality of the Soviet invasion and changed the way war photography was viewed. Number 11. At the Battle of Antietam in 1862, this photo shows fallen soldiers, burial crews, and mass graves. These harsh images, including close-ups of faces, shocked the public. They were among the first photos to show the true human cost of war. Number 10. During the 1972 Munich Olympics, a peaceful event turned into a nightmare when members of the Palestinian group Black September took 11 Israeli athletes hostage. The terrorists demanded the release of prisoners, and after a 21-hour standoff, all hostages were killed. This photo shows a terrorist on the balcony was the first live broadcast of a terrorist attack, with millions watching. Number 9. On November 22, 1963, Abraham Zapruder, just an ordinary man with a camera, captured the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. As Kennedy's motorcade passed through Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Zapruder filmed the tragic moment when the president was struck by 2 bullets. The film became famous for showing the final moments of Kennedy's life, with frame 313, where the fatal shot hits him in the head. Number 8. On May 4, 1970, National Guard troops fired on students protesting the Vietnam War at Kent State University. In just 13 seconds, 4 students were killed and 9 others were wounded. John Paul Philo, a student photographer, captured the famous image of Mary Ann Vecchio crying over the body of Jeffrey Miller. This photo was printed in newspapers and later won a Pulitzer Prize. Number 7. This is one of the first photos to ever capture the moment of death in war. Robert Capa took it during the Spanish Civil War without even looking through his camera. He was with soldiers when one was shot mid-charge, and Capa clicked the shutter just as the man fell. Some later questioned if it was staged, but most believe it's real. Either way, it changed war photography forever. Number 6. In 1942, photographer Dmitry Baltamants arrived in Kerch, Crimea, just after Nazi soldiers had killed thousands of Jewish families. He found a field full of bodies and people crying in grief. One woman stands with her arms in the air, heartbroken. This photo was so sad and powerful that Soviet leaders hid it for years. When it was finally shown, it became one of the most painful images of World War II. Number 5. In 1963, people in Birmingham were marching for civil rights. Charles Moore took a photo of a police dog attacking a black protester. The picture showed how violent things were. It helped people see why change was needed and led to the Civil Rights Act in 1964. Number 4. Babe Ruth was the most famous baseball player ever, but by 1948, he was sick with cancer. On June 13th, he stood at Yankee Stadium one last time to say goodbye. The image became legendary. 2 months later, Ruth died. Fine won a Pulitzer Prize for the photo, the first ever for a sports picture. Number 3. In 1966, Chairman Mao was 72 and worried about losing power. So to show he was still strong, he swam across the Yangtze River. Photos of him swimming, like this one, were shared across China. Soon after, Mao started the Cultural Revolution and the country fell into chaos. Over 1 million people died before it ended. Number 2. This is where mobile photography began. In a hospital room in 1997, Philippe Kahn had just become a dad and wanted to share a photo of his newborn daughter. so he connected his digital camera to a flip phone using some quick code on his laptop. That photo, sent to over 2,000 people, became the world's first cell phone picture. Number 1. This is where it all started. The very first photograph ever taken, in the year 1826. This small, grainy image changed everything. Joseph Nicéphore Niepce, a French inventor, used a camera obscura and a special metal plate to capture the view from his window. It took 8 hours to expose, but this was the birth of photography, the beginning of the art of capturing a moment forever. These weren't just photos, they were wake-up calls. Which one stuck with you the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you're ready for more hidden history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell.